You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast with Marcy Persky. Except that Marcy Persky just had surgery on her hand, and so she's out for the count. Lucky for you, Kim McAllister, co-host of The Mark Thompson Show, which you should absolutely find and listen to on YouTube, has agreed to step in, and she may possibly be an even tougher mom than somebody else you know. I'm absolutely totally jazzed that we get to do this together because Marcy, as you know, hello Marcy, feel better, has had the same damn operation on her arm twice.
Oh no.
Yes, twice. And
a poor thing.
It is a poor thing. And now she's got to sleep in a Barcalounger for a month.
Oh no.
Have you had that happen where you have a medical procedure and all of a sudden your house becomes an enemy?
No, not yet. I haven't had that happen yet.
Oh my gosh. I broke my arm last winter. I slipped on ice, handing the dog over to the friend who was going to take care of the dog, and landed on my arm and broke it. And then my bed became my enemy when I did get a cast because I would whack myself in the face in the middle of the night with my broken arm. But before that, I worked for 2 weeks cleaning a rental apartment without acknowledging that my arm was broken.
Oh my God.
Scares the heck out of my husband, by the way. The husband is totally petrified.
You're like, this must be done. Nothing will stop me.
Yes. Yeah. Because there was money involved. That was probably the only reason.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to do this.
Yes. It's not that I get paid for
I should hire someone to clean it.
No. And besides, I sound like the ultimate suburban housewife. Oh, you can't hire anybody to clean the way that I clean. Which reminds me, I will tell you the story. So the reason I was cleaning this apartment is we kept the house in California, and it has a couple little apartments that we rent out. So you really learn a lot about people when they rent an apartment from you. And after a while, you get a spidey sense of who's going to be a royal pain in the tuchus.
Right.
Do you have a spidey sense of who will be? I mean, you're a mom with kids at school. You know which parents are going to be a royal pain in the tuchus, right?
Yeah, I can call that a mile away. But sometimes I think I tend to see the good in people, and I have this friend that's was a producer at KGO, and he calls it like it is, like the moment. And I've told him, oh, you're just so negative. Give the person a chance. And he's always right.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
So I don't think my spidey sense is always that good.
Well, it sounds to me like your spidey sense is excellent. You just overrule it with goodwill. And since I have no goodwill, and since I'm not a nice person, I'm not encumbered by that. Oh, no, we'll give them a chance. I know right away that they're going to be a royal pain in the rear. And let me tell you that the worst offenders are wealthy people.
Oh,
the minute that you hear, well, I just need a little place because our mansion on the hills above Oakland is temporarily, they're going to be rebuilding it for the next 3 years. And so we just need a little place for while they're, that person is going to call you up the day they move in and say, the picture molding's dusty. I swear I had that happen. And if you don't know what picture molding is, in old places, there's like a strip of wood that goes around about a foot below the ceiling so that you don't have to pound a lot of holes in the wall. You hang these hooks. Museums use it. Mind you, I don't live in a museum or anything close to it. But you just know. And here's the weird part. Like you with your friend, the KGO friend who has the judgment, and then you go, oh, no, it can't be that bad. The spousal unit, after almost 30 years of marriage, still thinks that I jump to conclusions too fast. And so my second job is saying, I told you so. Because I'll tell him, we're going to rent to Susie Q, and she's going to be a humongous pain in the ass, but she will pay her rent on time, but we will hate every moment of dealing with her. And he'll be like, no, she's got money to pay for the place. She won't be a deadbeat. This is the woman that will call you up at 10 o'clock at night to complain that there's a head on the sprinkler that's not sprinkling in the right direction. That's what she'll do.
Lord.
There are such people.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the parents at your kids' school. The pain in the ass ones. I want a description. The lowdown. And by the way, Kim, whom I've known.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, everybody.
What did you think we were doing?
Chit-chatting,
That's what the podcast is. I'm leaving this in too. What? This is a podcast? No, I have to hear about the women at the school because I've known Kim for decades and decades from San Francisco, and she has two gorgeous, talented musical kids. And she's like the greatest mother, but she's especially wonderful because she tells the truth. Like, tell what you admitted to me about your ears the other day with your lovely, lovely little musicians. I loved this.
Oh, I love that I have a musical house, but I'm going deaf. Like, I've worked in radio for a really long time, so wearing headphones over time, your hearing takes a hit. So I've pretty bad hearing anyway, and now I have to hear my son practice the saxophone, my daughter hear her practice the flute, the oboe, and the bassoon. Everyone's practicing piano, and I swear to God, I'm going deaf. I just want them to stop. Everyone stop playing the music. And isn't that awful of me? Because it's like, it's such a great thing. They're playing music and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I need to move out of this house.
You told me that you actually had to buy
earplugs.
Earplugs.
I have them in my pocket right now. I have the little foam earplugs. I put them in and they come out to the kitchen and they'll say, Mom, listen to this one. And I got my earplugs in because I know they're practicing back there.
Yes.
And they come out and I've got my earplugs in and I can kind of hear it like it's muffled.
Yes.
But I'm like, that was amazing. Do it again.
I love that. You said something to me when I called to see if you would come and be my temporary co-host while Marcy heals. Every now and then you hear a line of the English language that you've never heard before, and you think, I've never heard anybody say that before. You actually said, and I'm sure it's normal conversation in your house, you said, sweetheart, this is not a good time for the bassoon. And I just thought, I've lived on this planet for decades. I've never heard those words in that order out of anybody's mouth.
Sweetheart, this is not a good time for the bassoon in the kitchen. Yeah, because they want to be where you are, right? They want you to listen to it all. And I don't want to listen to it all. So, especially when I'm on the phone. So here I am on the phone with you, and here comes the bassoon again, trotting down the hallway. And I'm like, no, not a good bassoon moment.
I think that that's a Jackson Browne song. Here comes that bassoon again, just when I was getting over it.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of music in this house. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I'm doing the podcast, someone will start practicing and it's so loud that you can hear it through because I don't have a soundproof booth anymore.
Nobody does.
My office, right. You could hear it all, like everything, all seeping through. It's like I'm surrounded by music, which is great, but also, oh, please.
Yeah. I love these people who imagine that being surrounded by music would be groovy. Like they've never really had to be surrounded by music. And I would like to congratulate you on having no child who plays a stringed instrument because the flautist, the baby, the small cutie, he plays the flute. And that's fine because most of the time you either get the note right or you get the note wrong. And if you're off key, it doesn't stay like that for very long. But it takes a good, unless you have one of those little prodigies that's headed for Juilliard, and we've heard those, it takes several years before they actually can hit the note right every time. And, they start them with the little, like when you go bowling and they put the little pillows in the lanes to make sure your ball doesn't end up in the gutter every time. The teacher,
little bumpers going on.
Yeah, they got the bumpers. They do that equivalent for the violin. They put little stickers where your fingers are supposed to go to get the note right. But, the stickers kind of move or it's an approximation. Yeah. And I have to say, as a parent, my child has never disappointed me as much as when I finally had to accept when he hit college that he was going to give the violin a rest, partly because it seemed like it was only yesterday that it had actually become on key. And I just thought, 6 years I listened to...
So Julia's first instrument, my daughter, she's now 14, is her voice. She's taken voice lessons for a really long time. And I got to tell you, the kid can sing. So her 8th grade teachers for 8th grade graduation last year, they tap her to sing the national anthem at graduation.
Ooh.
And I say, this is great. Don't embarrass me by forgetting the words. Now, I don't know if I set her up for failure by my first comment is saying that, but because I'm thinking, this isn't a fly by the seat of your pants moment. You got to study for this, right? You got to make sure you know the words. Like, this is like being in a musical theater performance. You got to really, this is not, I'm just going to get up and wing it.
I can feel go ahead.
If I knew we were talking about this, I would have had the audio to play you. But it's not just, I got the words wrong. It's, I've completely forgot the words and I must stop. Right? Because sometimes people can make it up, or like make up a phrase that sounds kind of like what it should be, and none the wiser.
That's my whole career in radio, basically. Yeah, I'm for that. Yes.
In this moment, she stops, like maybe, I don't know, a stanza into it, and she looks like deer in the headlights. And my husband stands up and starts singing where she left off.
Oh.
And then she joins him in, and then they sing the whole thing together. And sure, her voice was amazing. She hits all the high notes. It's awesome. But that moment, I mean, I swear to God, if I could have crawled underneath the chair and just melted into the earth, I would have.
Do you feel like you were embarrassed on her behalf, or was this a reflection on you somehow, that you are a not patriotic parent?
All of the above, everything.
You feel like everybody's looking at you and feeling like you taught her the communist anthem there or something instead of our national anthem?
You know,
what is that called again? The communist, the Internationale.
Or why would they have her sing it if she doesn't even take the time to learn the words? Also, who doesn't know the words to the Star Spangled Banner? Like, all these things are happening to me at once, where I'm like, oh God, the patriotism thing. I'm embarrassed for her because it was a bad moment. You know, everything.
I'm trying to remember now. As a kid, I thought there was something called a Rampart Suite.
The what?
Or the Rampart Suite. Watched.
Or the Rampart Suite.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just thought it was a Rampart Suite. I was like, what's a Rampart Suite?
Rampart Suite, I got it. Okay,
yeah, I thought there must be something called a Rampart Suite.
You're funny.
Yeah. No, it was just, when you're a kid,
yeah,
you hear things like, how would I know as a, 4-year-old what a rampart was?
Totally.
Yeah, and then frequently I hear kids hear Donzerly Light. They want to know what a Donzer is. They think it's like what if Santa's, on Donzer, on Dancer, and that makes sense. Like, the Donzer.
I'm famous for getting the words wrong to every song. I might know half of it. Like, I know a lot of songs to sing along to the radio, but I only know half the words to the songs. But the national anthem, come on now. I mean, that one, if they tell
how old was she?
13.
Okay, well, maybe she should have practiced a little.
Yeah, I think so.
This is when you say to yourself, well, at least she's not pregnant. Like, this. Yes.
It's the moment you say to yourself, she had to learn that the hard way, right? Because next time she gets up, she's never going to want to be that embarrassed again. Next time she's going to realize she's got to put in the work, right?
You are tough. I'm tough, too. I'm tough. You know, what the heck? Hold on. This was supposed to be turned off. Oh, I would like to show you that I have a brand new phone and I don't know how to use it.
Is this an iPhone that you've got?
No, are you kidding me? Spend that kind of money? Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is like a used Pixel something, and I spent like 3 days with Steve in India trying to make it work, and now I can't make it not work when I want it to not work. And then here's the thing. There are people that and I haven't figured out how to turn off the phone so that people know that I've really seriously turned it off, and it's not that I'm digging for it in the bottom of my purse and they should call me back and bother me some more. Yeah. There's got to be some message that you can – I think there are messages. This is the thing. Like, everybody is telling me what I can do with this phone. I don't want to do anything with this phone except make phone calls and text and check my email. But people will tell you, like, you can start your car with it. You can drive your car with it. You can redecorate your house by looking at color swatches. Like, take that all away.
On and off the lights in your house, all remotely.
Right, exactly. But I don't.
On your heater remotely.
Yes, but here's the part they don't believe. I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the first part of Turi Writer's She Said What podcast with Kim McAllister, filling in for Marcy Persky. The second part you're going to hear later this week. In the interim, if you feel lonesome for my voice, pick up the new audio copy of my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's read by me, and you can find it on Audible.